I can take down the posters.
Okay, give me a second.
Thank you
so I
so
can
much,
put
sir.
these away.
Need help?
Is this the tour?
Yeah, it's a tour.
Okay, do you guys,
Putting up the stuff.
do
Take it
you
down.
mind if I
when?
take,
I don't know, we're finding out tomorrow.
Okay.
3
Did you
o'clock.
talk to Mrs. Marconi yet?
I actually talked to, the assistant to secretary wife. They just said they ran out of
Oh.
on the schedule,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Thank you, though.
do you mind if I take video?
No, it's your call.
Okay, it's gonna be live feed to a Facebook page. Is that okay?
Well, I can't say no, unfortunately. So if you want to do it, you're more than welcome to do it. I'm not going to stop you.
Okay, guys, you heard it here, we're at Hinsdale Central.
Come on into the Student Service Center. You want to sit back there? Not quite. This is our Student Service Center. It is one of the areas to be renovated through this project, the referendum project. It is, the Student Service Center in essence is your counselors and your social workers. We have 13 counselors who work in here, 3 secretaries and a registrar. And at the end of the hall, which we're going to walk down, is our students, our social workers. We have 6 social workers. I started working here in the fall of 1999. And I think we probably still had about 13 social workers then too. But we had 2 social workers at that time, and maybe 2 psychologists. Now we have 6 social workers and 3 psychologists with a bunch of interns as well. The programming you need on campus is much different today than it was then in '99. We're addressing a lot more mental health issues and student social and emotional learning issues on campus. So we need a lot of those programming. While this space is a nice space, there's nothing, if you look at it in structure-wise, there's not a lot wrong with it. It's just tight. And we'll walk down and check some of the rooms. Every student will come through here at least once a year, and now probably more than that, more likely. And they're meeting with their counselors or the social workers. The major concern is, at the end of the hall, which we'll walk down, is the social work offices are definitely not up to code, and that's for a variety of different reasons. When we expanded from 2 to 4 to 6 social workers, we had to find space on our campus. So what we did was partitioned out a math office and repurposed it for offices. So the ventilation's not the best. It's definitely some privacy issues in terms of sound and issues associated with that. And then the counseling offices are small. The other major issue is, here's your counselors, your social workers are in good proximity, but you have your health service, your nurse at a whole other end of the building, you have your deans at another end of the building, you have your psychs at another end of the building, you have your special education department at another end. So if we're running a business today, you try to put your resources together, in terms of efficiency, proximity, and things of that nature. So creating a new student service center would do all of that. It would put all of your student-related services in one place so those teams can collaborate to meet the needs of your students on a daily basis. On the first floor would be your counselors, your social workers, your deans, your nurse, your psychologist, and on the second floor might be your special education, which would include special education teachers, as well as speech pathologists, physical therapists, occupational therapists, all those different things. Questions I have before we go through here. This room would be renovated to classrooms. This is the only place you're going to see classrooms. As I said, the space itself is a good space. So you can divide this, I want to say it's 5 classrooms, but it might be 3. I don't know off the top of my head know which the number is. But this could be renovated for classrooms. But there are no additional classrooms being put in. So what we're going to do is walk the hallway, and as you can see, it sort of narrows. So that's the other issue that runs here, is it's not ADA compliant. So we have multiple students in wheelchairs or walkers or things of that nature. Their ability to navigate that hallway becomes an issue. And when we get through it, you'll see it's a really small lobby where we have a secretary for the social work department to help support the students that are coming through and help support the social workers. There's no way any wheelchair walkers or anything else are going to get through there. Feel free to poke your head in any one of the offices. There's probably nothing confidential at the moment there. But we'll walk through there. We're going to come out the other end at the other end of the door. I'll sort of lead us through.
Yeah.
These are counselors' offices, social workers' offices, but right here. Okay, these 6 to 30.
at every single one,
You curious, George?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, how you doing? Good to see you.
Wow, accelerated, huh? Clemson orange there, Syracuse orange. Not sure. Illini orange. Ah.
And kindergarten.
Always somebody out correcting you. Huh? That's how it goes in life. Any questions on the Student Service Center?
So where would the new service
Absolutely.
center be?
Sir, when we end the tour, we're going to end upstairs in the library, and I'll get a better view because it's going to be in the courtyard. So if you've ever been to our courtyard, it's a beautiful venue. A section of it's going to be partitioned off for the Student Service Center. You'll get a better look, a bird's eye view of it from the library as you go up there. Other questions? All right, we're going to head down. Our goal is to go through the pool. We're definitely going to make it to the pool. I'd like us to walk through the locker room, but our pool is used with such volume that our chances to get into the locker room are iffy. It depends who's in there. Right now we're in water polo season, so it's a boys team and a girls team. This is the real conflict in regards to our pool because there's only one locker room. When the pool was built, it was prior to Title IX, and there was no girls swim team. So they only made one locker room. So we've been navigating and managing the locker room. During the fall, the girls use it for swimming and diving team. During the winter, the boys use it for swimming and diving team. And in the spring, for the most part, we let the girls use that locker room because it's accessible to the pool. And the boys can use a PE locker room or a small, really small, tight closet locker room. Hopefully we'll get in there. Are you a fast walker? He's good. He's absolutely good. It's our first home game for volleyball. Let's take a chance to poke your head in there too. There's no work being done in the gymnasium, so most of that's been already fixed. I'm going to go see if we can get in the locker room. If you guys just want to congregate here, I'll be right back.
What should she do?
I was teasing her the other day. I was telling her, I go, your problem is you work with Grace, and Grace is so smart that she doesn't want to talk to her.
He's just checking the pool. Gotcha.
All right, we can go through the locker room. They're not using it. We're going to go out of the pool deck after that. Coming through. Anybody in? All good? Coming through.
Okay, I'm starting to smell chlorine.
Oh, no, we do not. We might have a few that you have to create a response or something. Please, as you walk through here, watch your step. There are a couple grade changes as well as some elevation changes, so please be careful as you come through.
So the tile is actually uneven. kind of uneven, weirdly uneven. Could fall down. Whoa! See? It's so uneven I almost fell down.
We're gonna go out that door. You wanna hold the door for everybody? We're gonna head out that door, so I'll just stand here.
The smell of chlorine is really strong. It's still uneven.
We're gonna go out those doors right there.
Doors out, girls, 4-2. Black, 4-2. Madison, drop down. Hannah, come on. Madison, drop down. Nice, go out. Take the ball with you. Out on 2. Wait.
It is 12 feet down to 4 feet, and that's the issue, because it's not deep enough. All right, is everybody out? You think we're all good? Okay. I'll take it. The pool was built in 1959, like I said. It is an appropriate space. It meets the needs. We use it for 8 periods a day in swimming class, PE classes. It's used day in the morning, as early as 5:30 in the morning for swim teams and swim clubs, and it goes all night long for our local community swim clubs that use it. It's constant use. You can feel the humidity and the chlorine. It's an old, what we call a Dectron system that manages the heat and ventilation and all the chlorine. It's in bad shape. We repaired it last year. It's about $1 million to replace that Dectron system. We know it is a failing system. Whether or not a pool is built, regardless, that system is going to fail. When that system fails, this pool will be closed down, because that's $1 million to spend on a Dectron. We're not going to do that until we ultimately determine whether a pool will be built. 6 lanes, 25 yards. The new pool is exactly the same, a 6-lane, 25 yards, but in a different location. Hinsdale South is in the same location, so they're gutting it, digging a deeper well, and meeting the needs so you can use it. Ours, we have a huge swimming community. So one of the issues of the task force was to put it in a different location. And then if that task force or if that swimming community wants to build something bigger and greater, then they can raise those monies. But you can't do that here. You would be, the best you're going to do here is a 6-lane, 25 yard. Right. I don't know about the answer to that. There's nothing above us except the pool. Yeah, well, yeah, she would have to do that. So they're going to put the pool on the southwest corner if it gets approved, and then allow that swimming community to decide what other additions to that pool should be. For example, a 10-lane, 50-meter pool, for example. So down the southwest corner, if you've ever been out to our football fields, the practice fields on the southwest corner, there's a retention pond, and you can see it. That's where it would be. If
How
it was
deep
there.
will it be?
It will meet the code. So I don't think that's final number has been determined. 14 feet is the code now, but 10 feet was the code at some point too. So while we're grandfathered in, we do know there's a liability. That's why all the diving boards are up. There's no diving allowed here unless you sign a waiver knowing the risk of diving.
So the team doesn't
So
dive?
it is a 10-foot deal. The 10-foot, it says 10-foot right there. Yeah.
And there's a ledge.
And there's a little ledge.
Is it going to be any deeper when they replace
Yeah,
it?
yes. I don't know the depth that we're going to do, because while 14 feet is the depth now, who knows what it'll be in 5 or 10 years. So it might make sense that you're going to make it 16 or 18, and I don't know the answer to that.
Well, why is South getting repaired, but Hinsdale's getting replaced
The difference
with
is-
a $10 million difference?
Because we could replace this, we can. It would be a 6-lane, 25 yards. But the community has, in the groups that have done this, have asked, is there a chance you could relocate it, which would enable the local community to maybe do something bigger, like donors and stuff.
Referendum money is going to sit in the back.
The referendum, yeah, they just relocated it. It's just that. It's the fact that it's being relocated.
So is the money the $10 million difference because it's being relocated?
Yes, that's it. Well, we also have bigger issues because we only have the one locker room. So regardless of another locker room was going to have to be built, we have the ventilation system that must be replaced. So there are other infrastructure costs associated with it.
Is the
Yes,
million?
all of it. Yes, all included. Yes.
And the stands as well?
Yes. Oh, it's going to be a new location. So yeah. Here, if we left it here, yes, yeah. The cost is different because then actually we end up putting locker rooms on the other side of this wall here. would be adding a locker room
What's
and a
there
wall.
now?
We're going to go out there. It's a hallway out to door 5.
I like the idea of moving it, just so you have better access.
Right.
I know.
It is.
For when the dive portion
Yeah.
starts, you have to take the lane lines out for a meet.
Correct.
You still have to do that.
Correct. In a 25-yard pool.
Yeah, you're still going to have to
They're
do
going to want to
that.
use the
And
locker room, so we're going to go out this door and we can ask any questions out there. Look to left when you go out. You go ahead. Look to left. We're going to actually go outside.
Vote yes, please. Go for it, right in the middle.
You know I pass it every day. Yeah. All right, we needed to get out of those girls were looking to get back in the locker room. Their practice was ending. Are there other questions I can answer about that space? You can close it. We're going to go in a different door. Okay. Any other questions? All right, so this is door, what we call door 5. We also call it our pool door. The main entrance, as you know, at Hinsdale Central is actually off of 55th Street where we started. But in reality, this is the main entrance. About 70% of our population, all of our staff come through this door, and about 70% of our students come through these doors. Because there's our staff parking lot. Our auditorium is here on the other side, which is probably where you parked, is our student parking lot. They all come through this door. If you look around, it doesn't look like a main entrance. Okay, so this area would be redone. It would have a grand fine arts area. We'd be increasing the fine arts space, art, music, things of that nature. Most of this area would become band. We'd be a new concert band room. And I'm going to take you over there in the meantime. Currently, it's the entrance. It's overflow parking, as you can see here. It is the entrance to B&G. That's our loading dock right there. And it's also what I like to call it's garbage. It's a garbage area. So what happened is in 2012 we built a chiller building, our energy building, which is just on the south side of this auditorium. It's also spaced with 3 loading bins for loading dock, as well as housing for B&G, but it's not connected. They didn't connect it to the building in 2012 when they did it. So the referendum would allow a bridge to connect the energy building and this building, to allow B&G to move all the product that comes in and out of school, and move the garbage out of there and repurpose this for instructional purpose. So this is our concert band.
Are these doors secured?
8 a.m. to 3 p.m. You cannot get into any door except the main entrance.
I have a question back to the pool. On the website, it talks about the referendum of $7 million for pool replacement over there, 17 over here. But then there's also another document talking about the variances that were approved. And it says to expand the pool to a larger pool, 6 lane, 40 yards, 24 million.
Yeah.
Which one is it going to be?
It's not. They're spending 17. That's what you're saying. If the community wanted to do that, they got to pick up that tab.
Oh, so the variances are for
Other people, other groups that might have an interest in creating a larger pool. Because the referendum in November was a larger pool than the 6 lane 25. I think it was that variant.
40 lane one.
And that's the one got turned down. So the Board of Ed came back and made us equal pools at both campuses, and that's what it's going to be.
Okay, so that's what that variance
Yes.
was listed, because I'm like, that's a huge difference.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So we'll go in over here. Come on by.
Stand up, by the way.
Excuse me, I'm videotaping for Facebook group. Do you mind if I videotape your questions? I didn't want to.
No thanks.
Okay, sorry. Okay. They're really good questions. I'm like, oh, I hope I can.
It's a lot of money.
I know you're asking very good questions, and you went through everything.
I did.
Got it? Oh boy, thanks.
Thank you, guys. Oh, nice
It's pretty big. I think somebody once told me it's over 1 million square feet.
5 meters.
Yeah, you're only doing conference meets. Yards, 25 yards. This is a conference meet. That's it. No state, no sectionals, none of that other stuff. Yeah. So like I said, this is the B&G. There's our loading bin. In here is our vault where we keep consumables, so to say. There's a lot going on right here. We have a concert tonight, so I wanted to take us through the banding room, but we might have to just peek in. You can see it. It's a nice space. Don't get me wrong, but with 300 students in marching band and band classes, it's a very confining space. So creating a space for all those music students is the plan here. All right. So we'll take a look. As you can see, as we'll poke our head. Then we're actually going to go downstairs, and I'll explain that in a moment here. But this is our band room. You guys all ready tonight?
Yes.
Looking forward to it. So poke your head in there, and then we're going to go down these stairs. But there's probably about 40, 50 people in there. Now imagine marching band is not able to use this at all. It works for class kids really good. Poke your head in there, and we're going to come on down here. Thank you. So we got a choir and orchestra concert tonight. Tribute to Mozart. I'll be there, right? Tribute to Mozart? Oh, you're looking forward to it. You do? Okay, you sure. Come over here. No, me either.
Is there a separate choir room?
So this is the main band room, 167. The choir room is 169 down there, and then we have two smaller rooms, which we'll use for like sectional training. So what I mean by that is all of our students, whatever, no matter your instrument you play or no matter how you sing, we have what we call sectional training. So if you're in class in concert band, a lot of times you're being pulled out, whether you're working on woods or string instruments. So these sectional teachers are teaching you all over campus. Any places we can find to do little sectional teaching.
Do you have like soundproof rooms?
There are some on the other side of this wall here. There are, I think, four, but they've almost become storage of all the equipment that we have. But they can be used.
There's only 4?
There's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think there's 5, a total of 5. There might be 6, but I think it's 5. So what we're going to do is go downstairs. You need to go down here? Oh, you're just listening to me? Oh, perfect. So we're going to go downstairs. Right below the auditorium is our fitness center. So we have PE classes, and obviously using every fitness center we can have on campus. But if you are a student with a disability, wheelchair, walker, or any other disability, you're still signing up for PE unless you opt out for a medical purpose. Most of our students with disabilities will take personal fitness, which is in the gymnasium or the... Anyone graduate from here? You might, I don't know, it depends on, without an age. It used to be our indoor track. Is down below. I think it's 21 laps around to do a mile. If you think outside, it's 4. If you do a regular track outside, it's 4 times. It's 21 times. If you go through our field house, I think it's 11 times, 9 or 11 times to do a mile. So 21 times around is a small track. So now it's like it's Nautilus, free weights, treadmills, elliptical machines. The path we're going to take is, as you can see, if you have a disability, you can't go down the stairs. And the only elevator goes, and we're going to come out, when we do the walk, we'll come out by the elevator. So there's no elevator to the lower level of the auditorium or the second floor of the auditorium. So part of the referendum in that loading dock area where we just came from is to build an elevator that connects the second floor of the auditorium as well as the basement of the auditorium. In other words, a fitness center. Right? So when we do this walk, I'm not going to say a lot because it speaks for itself. It's the infrastructure. We're going to walk through what I call the guts of B&G. But what I want you to keep in mind as you walk is think of a student or someone you know with a disability and imagine them doing this walk to the gym every day and back from the gym. It's really heart-wrenching. It really is heart-wrenching. But that's needless to say. We'll end up by the elevators and we'll come out over there. All right?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Why hasn't the renovations for the disabled students been done before?
There are 2 issues. With anything on campus, with any code, you don't, until you touch the area, you don't have to do the code. You don't have to get you up to code.
As soon as you start remodeling,
Yeah, until you start remodeling, that's going to require you to do it. And once you start it, it's a massive work. It's a massive undertaking. So.
Well, I guess my question is if you're going to remodel, yes, it has to come up with code.
Right.
But if the concerns about the disabled students have existed for so many years, how come it hasn't been
Correct.
renovated before?
Right. So I don't have an answer for that. I can't answer for past decisions or whatever else or why things were not done.
It's kind of kicking the can down the road.
No, I don't think it's kicking the can now. It's we got to fix this.
Well,
We
someone
reckon.
else kicked it down. Yes, they did.
If you want to say it? Yeah,
They
yeah,
kick
yeah.
the
yeah.
can down the road.
All right, you guys gonna go downstairs? See if that door is open when you get to the bottom of the stairs for me.
You want to go?
It was locked?
No, we're not going that.
We're gonna go straight ahead. We're gonna go
Check
straight
staff
ahead.
only.
Go staff only. Well, today you get to be staff.
Yay!
Watch your step.
What staff today?
Who's gonna hold the door for everybody?
Me.
All right, I got some new takers here.
Hold the door behind you.
Yeah.
Not in front.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Hold it. Okay.
Hold it. Hold it like right here. I hold it.
Walkers. You know anybody in a wheelchair?
Go on the stairs.
No? What?
They go down the
They don't. So that's the thing. They can come this way. This is the way they get to and from the gym that they go to every day.
This is kind of creepy. And
Not really nice, is it?
damn.
No, I know
Smells
what
kind
it's
of-
like to be a staff. What's that smell?
You're leaving the group. Buildings and grounds, where they fix everything at your school. Your school has one too. You've just never been there, right? Where do you go to school? Okay.
I go to school at home.
At home? Alright.
Do you think that's the tension?
There is. Nothing good comes out of the vending machine now. We're gonna stop right here. We're gonna go up those stairs.
I know this place looks
Oh,
really
yeah.
creepy, like a haunted house. But
So
real.
is that the actual path that students would walk? Is there another?
So we have like a student, Morgan is a really good student. She comes every day and does this path. To the fitness center and then back.
So that I'm saying, let's say the students are.
They'll come down the stairs. They'll come down that stairs and then go
Walk
back.
past the rotary saws.
No, only the handicapped students. The students come down the stairs we came, go into that other door that was just to the left of us, and then go back up that way. Or they're using other facilities.
How does a wheelchair get up and down versus bike?
It's a lot of the wheelchairs we've seen on campus are motorized, so they can make it, or we have an adult go with them almost always to supervise or provide assistance as they. Yeah, because it is a sharp incline, decline, right? Yeah. So it's almost always a staff member. Morgan, I do not think has a staff person. So these are 2 of the 3 elevators on campus. These are the only ones that go to the basement. The other elevators, by our world language, there is no basement over there. It's the original building, or one of the early renovations to the building has no sub-basement. This goes first floor, first floor, and second floor, as well as the basement here. She'd come down these stairs, do her path, then come back to her class. All of this area, if you went here long enough, you might remember our bookstore was down here. So this was the bookstore 10A. It was gigantic. We no longer house books on campus. Students buy their books through an online bookstore. So it's a nice room. We just renovated that this past summer or 2 summers ago. Outfitted it, got rid of the asbestos, cleaned it up. It was intended to be a driver's ed simulator room, but we're on our way out of using simulators. We actually, all this, all the way west, will become tech ed, STEM learning. One of the dreams of our technology and education classes is to create a construction management class. Because right outside here is a whole driveway. They could create mini plants, mini houses and things like that, and there's access with driveways and things like that. So all of this would be converted into some real cool curriculum opportunities out of technology and education. Yeah. Other questions? All right, we're going to go upstairs. We're going to go into the kitchen of the staff caf, or the cafeteria.
Okay, so some of the comments that kind of funny. The little kids were like, "Is this where they keep the kids in detention?" And another kid was like, "It smells so bad down here." I thought that was kind of interesting because kids don't really lie, and that's what they said when we walked down there.
So we can get out. Unlock it. don't want to leave here. Now stay over here, but doesn't have to talk anything. Good evening.
Why is there a fork on the table?
Somebody forgot to clean, or they're still cleaning. So our cafeteria, we have 5 lunch periods a day. Each period is 25 minutes long. We'll house up to about 500-ish students in a heavy lunch period to as low as 300 in one of the less lunch periods. The cafeteria seating area is not really being touched much at all. It's just more aesthetic. We might change the way you seat so you're not sitting at those same old cafeteria tables you and I all sat at our entire lives. We might create more modern seating environments. Give me 1 minute, okay? So we create more modern seating. Most of the cafeteria work is being done in here. It's the original kitchen, it's the original wiring, it's the original electricity, ventilation, all of that. So almost every dollar out of this is being spent on this. You can see there's a fan in the upper left, my left-hand corner, your right-hand corner. That to me is the most critical fan on the whole campus. Because right underneath it, to the left of it, it's pointing down, is our deep fryer. Now I would argue nobody needs French fries in their lunch, but neither here nor there, students buy French fries. So our deep fryer is there. The ventilation is so poor in here, you have to have that fan on to blow the smoke out into the hallway, otherwise we'd have a fire alarm every single day. So that's one of the issues.
Is anything being done in this area?
So what will be done is, along with this kitchen, the serving lines will be redone. So there's a serving line here, and we have a serving line right over here. The big problem with this one is the line actually goes in the hallway. So your line's up right outside the gymnasium. It's an interesting time of the day from 10:45 to 1:15 every day. So we're going to reconfigure the serving lines and the cafeteria. It's like the infrastructure, the guts of the cafeteria. The space that we're going to walk through right here, it's a beautiful space. The lunch, it meets our needs. It's just this is what's concerning in terms of the building. Other question? Yes, ma'am. How may I help you?
But if they're still cleaning, why aren't they cleaning now? Why aren't they
Because
in
you're
the
here.
cafeteria?
You missed him. He was over there. He actually ducked behind while we were in here.
I saw
So we're going to go through here, and then we're going to actually go upstairs to our library, which is our final stop. You can go out one of those doors and hook a left. We're going to go by the stairs to the left. You can go through it, yeah. Through it to the left. Then there's stairs over on the other side. We're going to go up those stairs. All right, you can see it, right?
Yes.
Are you guys joining us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Give us a minute, I'll be right there. So like you see, it's a beautiful space. The area that you're looking over here was put in 2004 when we redid the library. So we added this space, which was really necessary with the growing population we had on campus. The students like to refer to this as the senior section. I know that we don't discriminate. Anybody can sit here, but that's how it works. Here's our courtyard. Like I said before, it is a beautiful courtyard. It really, what an opportunity for students to sit here in a safe environment during lunch and eat outside like today. When I talked about the Student Service Center, you can see that tree over there. That's in essence where the Student Service Center would end on the south side, and that would connect to the building on that north side. For the most part, that's where the area would be. We'd also create a better pathway, an enclosed pathway from here to the west wing of campus for world language, English, social studies, and science. Does that make sense? So the courtyard will be smaller.
Cut through period.
It's even smaller. It was even larger before because this was all courtyard before this addition is put on. We'll head upstairs to the library.
I went to the original junior. It used to be a grade school and then was the high school. And to get, like if you're on the third floor on one side, you had to go all the way down to the first floor, through the cafeteria, through one panel hallway to get to the other side and then go up there. Like it was like
It's a beautiful space, isn't it? I mean, what a beautiful library. It was renovated in 2000, finished in 2004. And if you graduated from here, you might remember the library actually connected to the north end of the campus. If you were on second floor, like room 203, and you needed to get over to my old classroom, 229, you used to go down, go underneath, come back up, and go over, because you couldn't get through. So in 2004, what we did is offset it. So we created a thoroughfare for passing through, and made it a large, beautiful space. It is a wonderful space, which is why the renovation dollars, the referendum dollars, aren't being used to expand this space. It's being done to repurpose it. The way I describe this library, while it was built in 2004, it's a library for 1990s. It's books and it's computers. A library in the 21st century, a library in 2020, is a lot more like we see at work. It's collaboration spaces, small spaces to collaborate and get your presentations ready, to work one-on-one for instruction in small team environments. So any work in here is going to be renovating or remodeling, repurposing the area. All of our students have Chromebooks, so all of these computers are likely to disappear this summer. And with or without referendum dollars, we'll start to repurpose some of it the best we can under operating dollars. The other side that would be here is, like I said, there's the Student Service Center. You can see our tree over there. It probably actually comes closer to this pole, in one of these two poles, is connect a enclosed hallway. So you have your hallways on the north and south, east and west side of campus. You have 5 minutes to get to and from campuses. There's not really an access to the cafeteria, so you'd create a middle hallway that would sort of run, think of it outside this wall here, and just be enclosed to get you to and from the cafeteria from the center of the building. So you don't have to go all the way east or all the way west to get to it. So that's where some of those, I don't know what the dollar amount for the library is. 1.7. Some of it's for that hallway as well. So, questions?
I understand the furnace failed, at least one of the...
At Hinsdale South.
Okay.
At Hinsdale South, and they have two. It's one of their originals, I believe, one of the originals. If the second one had failed, they would have been sending students home.
Okay, and was that, how long did it take to get that repaired?
It was like 24 hours, I think they had somebody
Now,
out.
there's an ad, does it work when it's working? Is it warm enough? It's
Here on our
No,
campus?
it's at South.
It's
I've never
cold.
been cold over there. But,
Okay.
My daughter says it's very cold.
The
She keeps it
advertising
cold.
I saw, District 86, yes, is advertising all over the place
Uh-huh.
about students going to the classrooms with blankets around.
I think it was that one day, but I don't.
That's really misleading if that's the case.
Yeah. I can't say
Individual
that.
classrooms that aren't.
Sure, like any campus.
Yeah.
Like if you sat in our northwest corner classes, we have air conditioning here. I can guarantee you that's where the sun is all school day, because it rises on the east and sets all the way. It just beats in it. So it's
So
it's uncomfortable.
Generally speaking, that's not accurate, that kids are going to classroom with blankets on.
I would not advertise that. So
They did.
Okay, all right. Other questions?
Was this school built in segments? Because it seems
It
like
was.
it seems like
It
a
was.
hodgepodge of
Well,
just ads. I mean, I think every high school I've been to has been built like that.
In 49, the original campus began at the corner of 55th and Grant Street.
Yeah.
So we still have the plaster walls. I could take you down there and you'd see some of the stuff there. That's why there's no basement in certain
Yeah.
segments, because there just wasn't, you didn't need it. The basements are over there when they were built, so, yeah. Mhm. Other questions? I really appreciate you guys taking the time. We can walk back downstairs. We didn't get into the other rooms, but I thank you for being with us
Yeah,
tonight.
for helping
And hopefully you can make an informed choice with everything you got going on. All right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll head back out. You can go, if you want to go out, either